Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I am so glad you have found me and are choosing to spend a few moments of your time with me. So, the last 24 hours or so have been really kind of hard to take. I mean, first there was the embarrassment of Trump being, again on the White House lawn, saying things that made no sense and defending someone who should not be defended. Then there were the horrible, horrible images of those men in caves. Conditions so appalling that the guards are wearing face masks to protect themselves from the smell. And then you have Pence kind of saying, well, it's not good, but. And worse, you have that puppet, Lindsey Graham, standing behind him with that fake concerned look on his face. So, I have a question. And this question is simply, can we please get a bit of an overview of what's going on in the States right now, what the reactions are to it, and where realistically we can expect to go from here. So I'm going to give this one more quick shuffle and bring you on down, and let's see what we can find out. U.S. overview. U.S. overview. U.S. overview. And before I start, just before I started recording this, the Hurricane Barry has been downgraded to a tropical storm. Of course, the situation is still dangerous. So everybody, please just take a moment and send some loving thoughts in that direction. If there's one thing I have discovered about the viewers and subscribers of this channel, is they are really wonderful when it comes to embracing sort of the tragedies that are affecting other people around them. And they're really good. You guys are so good at just quickly jumping on, sending energy where it needs to go, sending loving thoughts, and not for a minute doubt that it is having an impact, and it is having a really wonderful impact. So, back to dumbass Trump and his administration. Let's just see what we can find out. Okay, so as usual, Trump is charging ahead, going places where angels fear to tread. He has no boundaries. There is no level to which he will stoop. He doesn't care. He is on a track, and he just doesn't feel that he needs to be dissuaded from that track. It was interesting. I caught that little thing he did yesterday when somebody asked him if he had backed down on the citizenship question on the census, and his reply was an absolutely nonsensical, I didn't back down, I backed up those people. He just simply, he has his own truth, he lives in his own reality, and he believes that he has the power to just move this forward in the way he wishes and desires. And he really doesn't, you got to give Trump credit for this and only for this. he is such a narcissist that he is really, really good at manifesting, what he wants and desires. And that's because simply he lives in a world of illusion where he simply does not entertain, acknowledge, hear, or receive any information that is not in keeping with his beliefs or what he thinks should be coming to him. And that is how come it's very important that on an energetic level, people push back as they can with their own powerful, powerful thoughts. Always remember, when it comes to manifestation, it is not about whether what you seek to accomplish is good or bad, helpful or not. It is simply the power of your belief that what you desire already is in place and exists, and you have the complete ability to access it. So that's why your thoughts are so powerful, because it really does boil down to what you believe, what you think, what you absolutely are convinced is real is absolutely what happens. So when you're dealing with somebody like Trump, who literally lives in an alternate reality, and in his reality, he is king, he is wonderful, and he can do no wrong, you really have to push back hard with your own energy to combat that. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Make no mistake, the world is watching, and especially now that those pictures, the video pictures have come out of the conditions in those cages. And truly, truly, in some ways, I think people had envisioned horrible, and yet somehow the reality of them, I think, is even worse than anything people were expecting. So the world is paying attention. And there's Trump patting his own, pocket, doing his thing. His focus is completely on him and his possessions and his money and what he wants. Back to the world. I wouldn't be surprised. I know, if I remember correctly, the United Nations have sort of already issued a slap on the wrist to the United States saying, you cannot keep these people in such inhumane conditions. Do not be surprised if going forward there is a continual increase, a ramping up of displeasure and disgust coming from and joining with the citizens of the United States, the people of the United States who are horrified. Don't be surprised if other worlds, other countries start speaking out a little bit more aggressively and forcefully. And again, I would not at all be surprised if the UN did not issue a further statement in stronger terms. This is the thing. If anybody walked into literally an animal shelter and saw animals living in those conditions, there would be such an uproar that shelter, I'm here to tell you, would probably be shut down within 24 hours. But for reasons that boggle almost everybody's mind except the Trump administration and the base that drinks his Kool-Aid, he sees these people as less than animals and appears to be completely prepared to carry on and conduct himself that way. And make no mistake, that footage of Pence saying, oh, well, they are overcrowded, but I'm telling you, I believe, my ICE people way more than I'm going to believe these people in cages begging for a shower, decent food, and a toothbrush. That is not going to sit well on his shoulders going forward. Sometimes if Pence would just shut the hell up, he actually might be able to salvage at least a small percentage of his dignity. Just a bit, okay? But when he stands up and does this puppet routine for Trump, this is not something he is going to recover from. This is the thing, okay? When people look at Trump, sorry, it's just that kind of day-to-day around here. So, when people look at Trump, his behavior is appalling. It is completely unacceptable. It is cruel and it is inhumane. But people have sort of come to the understanding that he's really mentally unbalanced. He's defective. But when it comes to Pence, he doesn't have that excuse. And so the wrongdoing that he takes part in is going to be reflected in some ways even worse on him, because one would assume he at least has enough of a moral compass to be able to recognize that this behavior is not acceptable, and yet he chooses to do nothing. It's not going to work well for him. And he foolishly thinks that he is going to win because he is supporting Trump. And what he fails to understand is every time he does that, he just riles up people's emotions. It's as if the things that Trump can get away with, people are so fatigued that when Trump says or does something insane, stupid, inhuman, people just sigh and go, oh God, he's at it again, or he's continuing at it. But when people like Pence and Lindsey Graham, and even to some small degree the Mitch McConnells, you at least have to believe that while they are greedy and they are selfish, they at least still have some fragment of their humanity left. And so because their behavior, because of that, their behavior just reflects worse on them, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. And for those people, it's really not going to work well. I've said this before, I do not see Mitch McConnell having a very easy time getting reelected. And again, a quick shout out to Amy McGrath, support her. Kentucky needs her. Lindsey Graham, I don't see him exactly being successful in his reelection bid. And Pence is a washout. Okay, he has no future when this presidency ends. He is going to be shunned and ostracized for the rest of his life. Ten of Swords and Nine of Wands. They are fighting and fighting and fighting a war that they are not going to win, and they will be taken down. Okay? One of the things that is really sad, and honestly, it is not exclusive to the United States. It just sort of is a little bit more pronounced to the United States, is that somehow we have gotten to a place where I think these are my beliefs. And if you don't agree with me, I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you. And I even will go so far as to say you are evil. We have lost the ability to be balanced. There is no compromise, it appears, left anywhere. It's, everybody's rushing to divorce. Nobody goes to mediation. Everybody wants to be right at all costs. And unfortunately, when people take that attitude, frankly, in any situation, be it personal, political, on the job, wherever, what you end up with is people who refuse to listen to the opposite side. So instead of taking good ideas from this side and good ideas from this side and creating a blend and a balance, sort of that everybody can work with and therefore everyone can support, we've gotten to a place where either you're with me or you are against me. And that's going to make it so much more difficult for finding a middle ground and finding a way forward. So just keep that in mind. We're sort of, it's as if the pendulum has swung so far this way and then so far this way, and really the only way to accomplish success going forward, where the divisiveness is cooled down, is to agree that you have to meet in the middle. The pendulum has to swing slowly and slowly to center, because it's at center that there is just a better blending of energies, of thoughts, and of movement forward. So, again, what's happened is if you're on that side and you don't do what I want, forget it. You're out of here. I got nothing nice to say about you. We got to learn balance. We've got to learn compromise, because without it, without it, the end that's coming is really probably not an end that most of us would like. And ultimately, we're looking to thrive, to grow, to celebrate life, to celebrate our being, and to be able to be free and happy, moving forward and continually evolving. So we need to focus on that energy as opposed to the, you don't agree with me and so I hate you. Counterproductive a wee little bit. Okay? The United States is going to receive help because people are anxious for things to return to normal, frankly, but in the process of that stabilizing as you go forward, the United States has been taught, aside from all the other lessons it has been taught, it has also been taught a little bit of a lesson in just basic humility. And I don't know that they will ever completely regain, as a country, their reputation for being the biggest and the best and the most. Because in fact, in a lot of ways, you're not. You're just not. You don't have a good healthcare system. You have people, in terrible, terrible financial straits and living states, almost like in destitution, high homeless numbers. You've got education that costs are almost out of reach. You've got student debt that is astronomical, and there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in your country. And again, I'm not suggesting for a second that every other country has it all figured out, because no other country has it all figured out. But there are some sort of illusions that as a country you bought into, and it's time, it's as if you guys are now ready to take off the rose-colored glasses and say, okay, you know what, wait a minute, just hold back. This isn't the best. So let's figure out how to make it the best for our country. And that's going to be exciting as you move forward, because you're going to find ways to balance the wealth. You're going to find ways to govern with more truth and more clarity. So for right now, I guess the best I can offer is a little bit of comfort that this situation is not going to stay like this for forever. Continue to send, please, your very best loving thoughts to the people along the border, your best loving thoughts to the people of Louisiana, and keep yourself as positive, as balanced, and as calm as you can There's rocky roads ahead, people. You can't go into those roads stressed and anxious. Find your zen, okay? Hang on to it. It's going to be all right in the end. So, for now, take care, be well, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.